Everybody, I'm Alan Powell from the Essex Bridge Center. Welcome. This is the first class in a 6-week series on defense that we're going to be starting here. So we're going to be covering such topics as opening leads. Today's topic is opening leads versus no-trump contracts, but we'll talk about suit contracts. We'll talk about signals, attitude and count, and suit preference. We'll talk about second hand and third hand play. All of that as we go along for the 6 weeks, right? So why study defense? Defense is one of the least studied pieces of the game. Most people concentrate on bidding first and then declare play second, and defense is a distant third. But it is one of the best ways to improve your game. You spend half of your bridge career on defense. About half the time you're going to be, the opponents will buy the contract and you'll be defending. And every trick you take on defense, whether you beat the contract or whether you prevent over tricks, can be just as important to your score as when you are on offense, right? Defense, just as important as how many tricks you take on offense. It is, however, generally considered harder than declare play because as a declarer, you have 26 cards and you know what they are, right? You see your hand, you see dummy, and you are in control of all your assets at once, right? So on defense, you're only in control of 13 of your assets. Your partner's 13. You'll have to discover what they are during the play, or you might have some information from the auction, but you'll discover as you go along exactly. You do get information from the dummy, right? You get information from the tricks that are played, but you do go into it not knowing exactly what's in your partner's hand. So part of defense is you have to get beyond just looking at your own hand. You have to work in concert with your partner, figure out what they have, figure out what you have, and how to best make use of it, right? It's a difficult subject, but since you're doing it half the time, it is one definitely worth studying, okay? How do we communicate with partner? Well, one of the ways you're going to communicate with your partner is by making what we call a standard opening lead. So you're going to have a specific method of leading with your partner where when you lead in honor, that will transmit specific information to your partner. If you are consistent in your opening lead choices, partner will understand, okay, well, he's got one of this range of choices, and therefore I can plan how to play the hand, right? If you lead in honor, you have a specific possibilities of what honors you have in your hand. If you lead fourth best, that also says, well, you didn't have the sequence of honors, right? It transmits other information as well. So the lead of a low card, while it doesn't specifically tell what honors you have in your hand, it does tell something about what you don't have in your hand because you don't have the correct honor combination. Signals, we'll deal with signals in weeks to come. That's another way that you're going to communicate with partner. You're going to tell them, I like this suit, I don't like that suit. I have an odd number in that suit, I have an even number in that suit. Please lead this suit back to me. These are all things that you can communicate if you are both the person playing the card has to be intentional about it, and their partner has to be watching what card they play and interpret it correctly, right? So let's get into opening leads, right? So we're talking about opening leads versus a suit no-trump contract. So there's two components here, right? First of all, you're going to choose which suit you want to lead. And then after you choose which suit you want to lead, you're going to choose which card is the appropriate card in that suit to lead, right? So two things. First, choose which suit to lead, right? Remember, no trump is a race between declarer and defenders, right? If you studied play the hand in no trump, we talk a lot about, setting up your long suits, right? That's the first thing declarer does is start working on his long suits and try and get extra tricks. As a defender, you get to go first, right? So you want to pick the suit in which will give you the best chance of setting up some extra tricks. Option number one is always going to be partner suit. If your partner has bid a suit or indicated in some way that he has length in a suit, you should strongly consider leading that suit. It may well be the best place that your partnership has to get some tricks, right? When you think about setting up your long suits, well, obviously, if you look at your hand, you might have a long suit in your hand. But if partner has announced length in the suit, that may well be the best place in your combined hands for you to find tricks. So I've given you a little example here. The auction has gone to one club, one spade by your partner, one no trump, right? Pass, three no trump, pass, pass, pass. So you're on lead. So in this circumstance, you would want to lead spades. Partner has at least 5 spades. That's probably the best place for you to find. Your partner, because they overcalled, probably has some level of strength, right? In which case, they'll have the entries. So you want to set up partner's suit, okay? Your second option is going to be your longest suit. You're right, longest and strongest. That's what we say against no trump. And the reason for that is you want to set up those extra tricks, right? You might have to lose a few tricks first, but then you get in and you get some tricks, right? So you're going to want to pick your longest suit, right? So in this example, partner actually opens 2 spades in the first example. South bids 2 no trump, north bids 3 no trump, pass, pass, pass. So partner has bid 2 spades. Now that is a weak bid, right? 2 spades is preemptive, so he has 6 spades or so, and not a strong hand. So thinking about this, I could lead the 6 of spades. That's partner's suit, and that's always option number 1. But do I have to lead a suit? I don't have to if I don't think it's the best idea. In this circumstance, if I lead the 6 of spades, when I get back in with the ace of diamonds, I can't lead a spade. When I get back in with the king of clubs, I still can't lead a spade. So it might be better, since I have the entries, to try and set up my suit rather than partner's suit. So in this case, I would want to lead a heart, right? But always be prepared when you don't lead partner suit. They're going to be a little annoyed about it, even if it works out well. The second example here, you have 2 possible suits, right? 1 no, 3 no. We don't know anything about the auction. Partner didn't bid anything for us. So I have 4 spades of the ace. I have jack 10 9 of hearts. Either one is possible, right? If I let a heart, I could probably get in with the ace of diamonds, ace of spades later, and play another heart, right? However, if I lead the spade, the hearts are unlikely to provide an entry. Does that mean that one will work out better than the other? Not necessarily. It's kind of a blind choice here as to which one you pick. The heart lead probably won't give anything away, and therefore might be a better choice in some circumstances. If your partner didn't bid anything, partner suit is not an option. If you don't have a 4-card suit that you want to bid, want to lead, not bid. If you don't have a 4-card suit that you want to lead, then you can pick an unbid suit, right? In this circumstance here, north opens a diamond, south bids a heart, north bids a spade, south bids 3 no trump. Well, my only 4-card suit is hearts, not particularly attractive. South bid them. I don't really want to lead them. The only suit that wasn't bid is clubs. I think I would probably lead a club, right? It's the unbid suit. So when you get to option 3, the unbid suit, it's typically going to be a 3-card suit when you're leading it here or less. You could, lead a doubleton. Singleton's really not attractive unless your partner has bid them. But you could, in some circumstances, lead a doubleton and hope to strike gold with your partner. Because if you had a 4-card suit, then it would be considered your suit, right? So typically when we're talking about the unbid suit, you're talking about a suit which you don't have enough length to consider your own, and you're hoping to strike something in your partner's hand because nobody else bid it, okay? So choosing which card to lead in the suit. Once you pick a suit, right, then you have to pick the right card so that partner understands what you have. Now in partner suit, you're typically not going to have a lot of length in partner suit, but it is possible. If you have 2 cards, top of a doubleton, regardless of what the top is, king, ace, 9, whatever the top of your doubleton is, 2 cards, you lead top of the doubleton. With your 3 cards, we're going to distinguish here between when you have nothing and when you have an honor. In that, when you have 3 small cards, you can lead the top. So if you have 3 to the 8 or 3 to the 9, that's okay. If you have 3 to an honor, 10, jack, queen, king, ace, you can lead low from 3 to an honor. Okay. If you have touching honors, go ahead and lead the top of those, right? Queen, jack, 10, 9, king, queen, whatever you have. And if you have 4 cards in your partner's suit, then you go ahead and you lead your 4th best, right? So typically you're not going to run down to number 5 very often. More likely you'll have 2 or 3 cards in your partner's suit, and you'll pick one of those options, right? As a side note, if you're choosing an unbid suit, because again, we are talking about a suit where you don't have a lot of length, you're going to use the same guidelines here. So if you're leading an unbid suit, top of a doubleton, top of nothing, low from 3 to an honor, et cetera, et cetera. If you get down to number 5, when you have 4 cards on the list, 4 card suit, you're talking about a suit that you actually have, right? You're not talking about an unbid suit anymore. So when you have an unbid suit, leading an unbid suit, use these same guidelines, right? Partner suit, unbid suit, same guidelines. Partner suit, obviously a much better choice. Here's one thing that I want to caution you about, and this is something that people often have misconceptions about, and that is they think that whenever you lead partner suit, you should always lead the highest card in partner suit, and that is not the correct choice. Yes, it would be informative to your partner, but it very often will cost you tricks when you're leading an honor, especially when you have 3 of them. For instance, in this particular example here, if you lead the queen in this example, right, you will make declare a present of both the king and the jack. You can no longer stop him from winning both tricks. But if you lead the 4, it goes to your partner's ace, he leads back, and now your queen is still there behind the king jack, right? So the lead of the queen will give declare 2 stoppers in this suit. The lead of a low card will give him only 1 stopper. Okay, so it's a common misconception that I see from people, in that, you know, whenever they're leading partner suit, they always want to lead the highest card. If you have 2 cards, a doubleton, absolutely always lead the highest card. If you have 3 to an honor, though, you should in fact lead low. Okay. Your suit. Well, in your suit, so we're talking about a suit of 4 cards or longer. We're going to be dealing with what kind of honors what kind of strength you have in the suit as to what card you pick here, right? So if you have a bunch of honors in the suit, it may be correct for you to lead an honor rather than your 4th best card, right? So the simplest example of that is top of a sequence. If you have 3 cards in a row headed by an honor, right? So ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 9, king, queen, jack, et cetera, et cetera. Your goal here is to knock out the higher honors and promote your honors, right? Same thing as if you were playing the hand from declare's perspective, right? When you're promoting tricks, right? Now, you may have a long way to go with 10, 9, 8 to promote some tricks, but if this is your long suit, maybe partner will have something to help you, right? So top of the sequence, notice there are 3 cards in that sequence, right? Ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 9, king, queen, jack. 3 cards necessary for top of a sequence. Top of a broken sequence. So you almost have a sequence, right? You have ace, king, you're missing the queen, and then you have the jack. You have the king, the queen, you're missing the jack, you have the 10, right? So you have honor, honor in a row, gap, honor, right? So you're still going to start with the top of the broken sequence here, right? So in the case of something like king, queen, 10, you're going to lead the king and hope to knock out the ace. And what you're trying to do is trap the jack in between the queen and 10 if possible, okay? You don't know where the jack is. If your partner has the jack, even better, right? But your goal here is to knock out higher honors, trap some honors in the gap, right? So notice those also involve 3 cards, right? I didn't include 10, 9, 7 in there because by the time you get down that far, you know, you really need so much help from your partner, just lead your 4th best. But jack, 10, 8, still perfectly acceptable, all right? Top of an interior sequence. So this is one that's a little bit different in that you have 1 lone top honor, right? And then you have the beginnings of a sequence below it. So ace is the lone honor, space, queen, jack, right? The gap can be more than 1 honor. Ace, space, space, jack, 10, right? King, space, jack, 10. So a top honor in the beginning of a sequence. 10, 9 is okay. But it has to start with an honor. It has to start with a 10, right? Something like jack, space, 9, 8, 7, you would just lead your 4th best. Don't lead the 9. The 9 does not convey the same information as the 10, okay? The 9 could easily be a top of nothing lead, in that circumstances. So top of an interior sequence, our goal here is we want to trap at least one of the honors in the gap if possible, right? We're going to try and trap, an ace jack 10, king jack 10. We're going to try and trap that queen, right? If possible. Sometimes our partner will have it. Sometimes our partner will have the ace, and we'll try and make sure that we can trap the queen, all right? If you do not meet any of these requirements, and notice all of these choices here, top of a sequence, top of a broken sequence, top of an interior sequence, all involve 3 honors with some form. Some of them are touching, right? If you have a holding that does not meet one of those requirements, you're going to lead your 4th best, right? So just, go down 4th, right? It could be in rare circumstances, the 7 or the 8 might be your 4th best because you have a bunch of honors, but they're not in the right sequence. Okay. Or you have you could have high honors and still lead a 4th best, the king, the queen, but you have no jack, for top of a sequence, you have no 10 for a broken sequence. You're best off actually leading 4th best in that circumstance. Okay. And hope that your partner has something useful over there, right? You're hoping for something useful for a partner. So one practice method I suggest sometimes for people, if you want to really just work at this, is grab an old hand record or, look at some hands online, and you just look at any given hand, right? North, south, east, west, look at the whole hand and decide, okay, if I was going to lead a spade here, I would lead jack, top of a double 10. If I was going to lead a heart here, queen 10, 9, top of an interior sequence. Diamonds, okay, I have honors, but I don't have any of the possibilities, so I'm going to lead the 7, 4th best. King third, clubs, if I want to lead here, I'm just going to lead low from an honor, right? So you can just go through an entire hand record and practice, what would I lead, what would I lead, what would I lead, right? It's a good way for you to work out some of the kinks. So some examples. In this case, hand number 1 here, the auction has gone 1-0, 3-0, so we don't know anything about partner's hand. We don't know anything about the opponent's hand. I have a long spade suit, so which suit am I going to pick? I'm going to pick spades. Looking at the spades, I see I have ace jack 10. So the appropriate lead here would be jack, top of an interior sequence, right? So on the first one, I would lead the jack of spades. That's my long suit, and my honor combination is top of an interior sequence. Hand number 2. Well, in this case, my partner has opened a spade, right? They've been NoTrump, pass, 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 and I'm on lead. Now I have a nice 5-card heart suit on my own, but I have no idea what my partner has in hearts, do I? I do know my partner has at least 5 spades in an opening hand. So which suit am I going to pick? I'm going to pick spades. Which card am I going to pick? Top of a doubleton. Okay. So I definitely want to lead king spades on this hand and then follow it up with another spade if I get a chance. Hand number 3 here. Okay, so the auction, we have a little more information from the auction. South opened a heart, right? North bid 2 diamonds. South bid 2 NoTrump. North bid 3 NoTrump. So I have 4 spades and I have 5 clubs, both of which have not been bid, so I'm not worried about leading either one. I'm going to pick my longest and strongest, right? There's no benefit to picking spades here. If I set up spades, if I can set up both, right, I'll get more tricks out of clubs because they're longer. Also, they're better, right? So looking at clubs, I'm going to lead one. Which one am I going to pick? Ace 10, 9. That is an interior sequence. I would lead the 10 from ace 10, 9. All right. And number 4, 1-0, 3-0. Again, I don't know anything about the opponent's hands or my partner's hands. So I'm going to lead my longest suit here is spades. I'm going to lead a spade. Now I have the king and the queen, but I do not have the jack for top of a sequence. I do not have the 10 for a broken sequence. I'm going to lead the 3 of spades. And this is hard for people to do sometimes because in suit contracts, you would never, ever consider leading the 3 of spades because you want to lead the king and get your queen right away before it gets trumped. In NoTrump, we can afford to be patient. We can afford to surrender an early trick knowing that our tricks later we'll be able to take them, because in NoTrump you can always take your length, right? They can't trump anything. So the 3 of spades might give a trick to the opponents early, Maybe I'll get some luck, maybe partner will have something used. But I'm okay with giving an early trick to the opponents if I can still get my late ones. Okay. So I'll leave the 3 of spades here. Hand 5, 2-no, 3-no. No, partner didn't bid anything. My longest suit, hearts. Going to lead a heart. Which heart? Jack 10, 8. That is a broken sequence. It is honor, honor, blank. Well, not honor, but honor, honor, blank. Next card in line, right? So Jack 10, no 9, 8. I'll lead the Jack. Hand number 6. Well, the opponents have bid a lot here, right? 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds. They bid all 4 suits. What am I going to lead? I don't like any of my choices, but during the auction, 2 diamonds was alerted as artificial, which means he might have a boatload of diamonds. He might have no diamonds for 2 diamonds. We don't know. So if 2 diamonds is artificial, that's probably the choice I'm going to make. And with 3 to the Jack, I'll lead the 2, right? And I'll hope for the best. Maybe that'll be a suit that my partner has some length in. I don't know, right? All right. So why does it matter which card I pick here? But that's an important question. I mean, does it really make a big difference as to which one you lead? And what I would say is that yes, it does, because your partner in third hand is going to make some decisions as to how to play the hand and what to play you for based on your lead. So you want to make choices that you and your partner both understand, so that your partner can make an intelligent decision about what to play. And I put some examples in here of why we do this and what we're hoping to do. Now, obviously this won't work on every hand, but in this case, top of a broken sequence, Queen Jack 9, right? I honor, blank 9, right? So I lead the queen here. And my fervent hope, this is the best case scenario, is that the king's going to get trapped into the ace and the 10 is going to get finessed on the way back, right? So if it goes queen and he plays the king from dummy, East wins the ace, and he plays back another diamond to you, right? And it goes low, 9. And then the Jack takes the 10 and your whole suit runs, right? So leading the queen will allow you to run the whole suit. That's the best case scenario. Your partner had the ace, the king was in the pocket, right? Your partner could also have a useful card for you, right? One useful card. In this case, he could have the card above yours, right? Queen Jack. Now we have the king. So this is just like any standard promotion, right? King, Queen, Jack, knock out the ace, run your suit. If he has the 10, that fills in the gap in your little broken sequence there, right? In which case, the lead of the queen, yeah, you got to knock out the ace, you got to knock out the king, get it back in. Worst case scenario, it doesn't give anything up. Best case scenario, you get a couple of tricks out of it, right? So if partner could have, the perfect card, partner could have the fill-in cards for you. Some days, of course, your partner's not going to have anything for you, and that's the way it goes, right? I don't want to claim everything is always rosy. So in this case, you lead the queen, Declare runs it to his king, and now the ace-10 is behind your Jack, right? And you've given over a trick they can't always get. It does happen when you lead an honor. You may well give up a trick, but it wouldn't have helped you to lead low in this circumstance. It's the same thing, right? So I don't worry about the worst case scenario. I hope for the best. I hope partner has a useful card. So 3 things could have gone right here. Could have the ace, the king, the Jack, right? If he has nothing, well, c'est la vie, all right? Interior sequence. So when you have an interior sequence, you have a high honor, right? And then a gap, and then your start of a sequence. Here you're trying to trap the honor in the gap. So the honor in the gap is the queen. So best case scenario is your partner has the ace, Declare has the queen, and then we can trap it, right? So in this circumstance, the first case here, we can make sure Declare never gets that queen. We lead the Jack, dummy plays low, partner plays the ace, right? And then he leads a little one back, and our king 10 surround the queen, right? And we are able to take all 5 tricks. Second example, Declare still has the queen, but we still trap it. We lead the Jack. If dummy plays the queen, you win the ace. The king 10 are good, right? If dummy plays low, East will play low, and the Jack will win the trick. And then we get the ace, the king, and the suit will run either way, right? So this is our hope here, right? Is that when we lead the jack, we're going to trap the honor from partner. And, you know, when you say, why does it matter? Well, it matters because if you didn't lead the jack, you might not be able to trap, right? And the other thing is when you lead the jack, partner can try and figure out what you have and what declare has and see if what the right thing to play is, right? Because in the first example, nobody's looking at the queen, right? The queen's in declare's hand. So understanding what you have will allow your partner to try and get this right. It's easy when I show you all four hands, right? So we'll talk in a little while about what happens when you don't see all four hands. So in this case, we have queen 10-9. That's top of an interior sequence. We're looking to trap the jack, right? And it wouldn't matter whether it was queen 10-9 or king 10-9. You could reverse the king queen here. It's the same principle. But you can make sure that declare only ever wins the ace when you lead the 10. So you lead the 10, dummy plays low, East plays the king, and then leads back through the jack, and it gets trapped in the queen 9, right? In the bottom example, you lead the 10. If dummy doesn't play the jack, then East plays low, and it forces the ace, and then your king and your queen are good, right? So you've trapped it that way. That's our goal here, is to try and make sure that they don't get the jack. Now, if your partner had the jack here, that'd be fantastic, right? That would fill in your gap, right? If your partner has the ace, I'll leave it to you as an exercise to figure out if you swap the ace and king, can you stop declare from getting more than one trick? And the answer is yes, but I'll leave that as a homework example for you. So at this point, we need to think a little bit about, well, okay, partner picked the lead, he led on the honor, right? How do I know what to do? How do I know what he has? How do I get this to work in a circumstance where I'm not looking at all four hands, right? And that's going to start with the partner of the defender trying to figure out what the opening leader has, right? So let's say your partner leads the 10, right? So the first thing you do is you think about, okay, what are all the possibilities from which partner would lead the 10, right? So the answers are ace 10-9, king 10-9, queen 10-9, or 10-9-8. Those are your four possibilities, right? And then look at your hand, look at dummy's hand, and eliminate possibilities from the list, right? The other thing you can do is when partner leads the 10, you can automatically assume that partner does not have the jack, right? When partner leads an honor, they will not have the card higher than that, right? Typically. Never say never in bridge, right? But when they lead an honor, they're denying the honor directly above that. So when they lead the 10, partner doesn't have the jack. So if you're not looking at the jack and dummy doesn't have the jack, you can place the jack in declare's hand, right? If partner led the jack, right? The queen, a partner does not have the queen. So if the queen's not in dummy and the queen's not in your hand, you can place it in declare's hand. Okay, so these are information pieces that you can get. So let's assume partner leads the 10 against the no-trump contract. Think about all the possible options he has here, right? 10-9-8, queen 10-9, king 10-9, ace 10-9. Look at the dummy, and dummy has the 8. So I can eliminate 10-9-8 from partner's holding, right? Looking at our hand, we have the king. So I can eliminate king 10-9 from partner's hand, right? So partner must have either queen 10-9 or ace 10-9, okay? And if partner follows the leading conventions, this will always be true. If partner, make sure that they only lead an honor when they have one of the standard honor opening leads, then we know partner has either ace 10-9 or queen 10-9, right? So armed with that information, what do? Well, if he has ace 10-9, Then declare has both the queen and the jack and probably a stopper, right? In which case, whether I play the king on the first round or the not on the first round, it doesn't matter. I'll play the king. I'll play back another one. We'll keep playing them until declare runs out. And then we'll hopefully be able to run the suit. Queen 10-9, that's the one that matters here, right? Because if partner has queen 10-9, then declare has ace. And we know declare has the jack, right? We can place the jack immediately after partner leaves the 10. When partner leaves the 10, partner will not have the jack. We don't have the jack. Dummy doesn't have the jack. Place the jack in declare's hand. And if partner has queen 10-9, South has the ace as well. So you're going to lose the ace. There's no question. The question is whether you have to lose the jack. So 10 is led. Dummy plays small. East must play the king, right? East's king will force the ace from declare, right? And then if East can get back in, you can lead through the jack into the queen 10, and the jack will never be a winner. If the opening lead is the 10 and it goes low and you play low, the jack will win the first trick, right? You can't let him win that first trick with the king, the jack. King has to force the ace. Hopefully you can get back on lead and lead through the queen 10, right? So ace 10-9, it doesn't really matter in this circumstance. Queen 10-9 absolutely matters. You have to play the king, okay? So these are the ideas that you're going to have to work through while you're doing this, right? So in order for this to work, one of the exercises I like to have people do is you have to understand it both backward and forward. So the first table is that we looked at, was from the opening leader's perspective. If I have this combination, I lead this, right? So you would sort through that way. The partner of the opening leader needs to look at it the other way. On the lead of the ace, partner might have ace, king, queen, or ace, king, jack, right? And I have to keep track of which one of those it might be. I'll look around for the queen. If I have it, great. If I don't have it, partner may or may not. When he leads the king, well, he doesn't have the card directly higher. He doesn't have the ace. He has either king, queen, jack, or king, queen, 10, right? When he leads the queen, he doesn't have the king, right? But he could have queen, jack, 10, queen, jack, 9, or ace, queen, jack, right? So you want to be able to look at this from both perspectives. From the perspective of looking at a suit and knowing which one is the right card to lead, and from the lead being made, what could partner have, right? What are the combinations from which partner would choose that lead? Okay. So you can immediately assume that partner doesn't have the card higher than that one and look around and see, you can place it in declare's hand if you don't see it in your hand or the dummy. And you can try and work through which combination partner might have. Okay. And this is not easy, right? This is something that you may not have worked through before, but when you first lead, top of a everyone learns top of a sequence. That's the easy one. Then the others, right? You think about it maybe a little bit, but trying to put them together from both sides of the table, right, is the hard part. Okay, so a lead is made and selected, and hopefully it's the right lead, and then the partner of that person has to make the right choices. So let's run through a few examples of that. So here, opening lead is the jack. All right, so first thing you should think about is what combinations does partner lead the jack from? Top of a sequence, jack 10-9. Broken sequence, jack 10-8. And then you have interior sequences, ace jack 10 or king jack 10, right? So in this circumstance, the other thing is when he leads the jack, he doesn't have the queen. So he can automatically place the queen. It's not in dummy. It's not in your hand. Declare has the queen on this hand, right? So jack is led. Jack 10-9. You have the 9. Can't be that, right? Jack 10-8. Dummy has the 8. Can't be that. King jack 10. You have the king. Can't be that. The only other possible lead from which you would lead the jack is ace jack 10. So partner is ace jack 10. Declarer has the queen, right? So, here I've listed all four possible combinations. We've eliminated King Jack 10. You have the king. We've eliminated Jack 10 9. We have the 9. We've eliminated Jack 10 8. Declarer has the queen. Partner has Ace Jack 10. What do I play here? Right? So the answer is you absolutely play the king, and then you play back the 9, and you try and trap that queen, right? Okay. So, we were lucky in this case that, we had the 8, the 9, and the king in view. So we knew exactly what partner has. You won't always know exactly what partner has, but the more you can determine, the better, right? All right. Hand number 8. Okay, opening lead is the king. So right away, we know partner doesn't have the ace. Well, we already knew that. We have the ace, right? When he leads the king, what are the possible combinations from which he leads the king? King, queen, jack, top of a sequence, right? Or king, queen, 10. Okay. So which one does he have? I can't tell. I don't see the 10 or the jack in dummy. I don't see them in my hand. Declarer might have 10 or jack. You might have neither, right? Partner could have king, queen, jack, 10. There's nothing preventing him from that. So what are the possibilities here? Partner has either king, queen, jack or king, queen, 10, right? In which case, what should we do? Well, if it's king, queen, jack, we'll win the ace on this first trick, and we'll play one back to the queen, and then he can win the jack, and hopefully his suit will be good from that point. Maybe, maybe not. Depending on whether he has four or 5, right? But playing low is not effective because it goes king, low, I play low, and then I win the ace on the second round, and then I can't play another one, right? So it's important on this one that I play the ace on the king, play mine back, and hope they run. If he has king, queen, 10, I'm going to do exactly the same thing, because if the jack is anywhere, it's going to be in Declarer's hand, and it's going to get trapped by the queen 10, right? So in this circumstance, right, I lead the king, partner leads the king, small, we win the ace, we play one back, queen, jack takes the 10 and runs the suit, right? It still works if Declarer has the jack. King, small, ace, small, low, and then the jack gets trapped in the queen 10, and then the suit still runs, okay? And this is the hand where I want you to see that it's important that you don't lead the king without either the king, queen, jack or the king, queen, 10. If you partner needs to trust that when you have the third honor in there to either have the sequence or the broken sequence, because otherwise overtaking with the ace could be a disaster, right? If you have the king, the queen, and then 4 3 2, then when I overtake with the ace, I squashed a trick. If instead, when you have the king, the queen, and 3 little cards, you lead your 4th best, I win my ace, you win your king, we play the queen, and we're okay, right? So you need to have 3 cards involved in your sequence, either top of a sequence, broken sequence, interior sequence. There's always 3 honors involved in it, okay? You need to have it, and partner will then start to trust that you have it, okay? Here, opening lead, 10. All right, so what are all the possibilities for the 10? 10, 9, 8, queen 10, 9, king 10, 9, ace 10, 9, right? Okay. We know partner doesn't have the jack. Well, we knew that already. We're looking at the jack, right? Okay. We can eliminate some of those possibilities. 10, 9, 8. 8's in the dummy. Can't be that, right? King 10, 9. We're looking at the king. Can't be that. So therefore, partner has to have either queen 10, 9 or ace 10, 9, right? I don't know which. Okay. So if partner has queen 10, 9, then together we have the king, queen, jack 10, 9, right? And all we have to do is knock out Declarer's ace, and it doesn't matter which card you play, whether you play the 3, the jack, or the king. It makes no difference, right? What if partner has ace 10, 9? If partner has ace 10, 9, who has the queen? Declarer, right? And if declare has the queen, we cannot let him win it on the first trick, and we want to trap it in that ace 10. So 10, 2, I play the king, right? And if when the king wins, right, I return the jack and we trap that queen. Goes jack, queen, ace, and then 10, 9 takes the rest of the suit. If it goes 10, 2, I play the king and declare wins the ace, that's fine, because then the jack, the 10, the queen, the 9, all will finish running the suit, right? So it doesn't matter if partner has queen 10, 9. It absolutely matters if he has ace 10, 9, because it goes 10 low. If I play low, declare wins queen, and he's gotten a trick he was not entitled to. Okay. All right. One last one here. So opening lead is the jack. Right away, I know he doesn't have the queen. That's fine. I'm looking at it. I knew that already. So what holdings does he lead the jack from? Jack 10, 9, Jack 10, 8, broken sequence, King Jack 10, Ace Jack 10. Well, I can eliminate King Jack 10. I can eliminate Ace Jack 10. So he's got either Jack 10, 9 or Jack 10, 8. All right. So what does declare have? Well, he might have the 9. He might have nothing, right? He doesn't have much on this particular hand, but that's okay. So then the question is, what should you play? And does it matter what dummy plays? Well, if dummy plays the king, obviously you're going to win the ace, right? And then you should return the queen on the second trick and then the 2 so that you don't block the suit, right? What's not as obvious is if it goes jack and dummy plays the 5, you should also play the queen, okay? Because then your ace will take the king and dummy's hand, and the 2 will allow you to return to your partner's hand, right? So in either case, whether he has Jack 10, 9 or whether he has Jack 10, 8, you can take all 4 tricks in the suit. So Jack, if he plays low, you put in the queen, you win the ace, the king falls, you play the 2 back to the Jack and the 9, sorry, the 10 and the 9, right? If he has Jack 10, 8, you do have to then trap that 9. It goes Jack, low, queen, ace takes the king, low, and the 9 gets trapped in the 10 and the 8. You might have to lay these out as a single suit. Just take one suit of cards and lay them out and actually play them to see this, because it is a little bit tricky, but this is the kind of thing that you want to think about, right? You want to think, okay, what holdings does he have? What can I eliminate from the possibilities? How should I play from that point? Okay. All right. So just to summarize, there's 2 components in choosing your opening lead: which suit to lead, which card in that suit to lead, right? Your standard opening leads, right? Top of a sequence, 3 cards in a row headed by an honor, 3 cards, right? Broken sequence, 2 cards in a row, gap of 1 card, and then another card. There's still 3 cards involved, right? Top of an interior sequence, a high card, and then a gap to either touching honors or 10-9, right? So ace, space, queen, jack, ace, space, jack 10, etc. If you do not meet one of those 3 requirements, go ahead and lead your 4th best. Even if you have some good honors at the top, even if you have the ace king without the queen or the jack, you should lead a low card from it. You're willing to give up 1 now for many later. They can't trump it. It's no trump, right? So what would be absolutely insane in a suit contract is a good play in no trump. All right. Why does it matter? I often say this: partnership trust is priceless, right? Partner makes decisions based on what you're showing, right? And if you make random leads, you will get random results, and you may end up having to play with random partners. Okay. I strongly advise you to pick a leading strategy, have you and your partner understand what it is, and then you stick with it, right? And partner that can then trust that you're going to have what you're supposed to have and make decisions based on that. Reading the opening lead, this is going to be one of the harder pieces of this. I'm sure most of you have studied which card to lead before. You've studied the top of sequence, et cetera, 4th best. But but working through all the possibilities from a partner side, that's probably a piece that you haven't worked with. And you are working with a partner here, right? So the two of you have to start working together, making the correct lead, reading the lead, and making the correct play. All right. So that's enough for this. And next week, we'll talk about opening leads versus suit contracts. Thank you.